So I'm Juan. I'm working right now as a freelancer, and I'm going to share with you guys how to integrate an SSL certificate to your web app. Dang it. Let's see, how can I remove this? There. Okay. Hold on a second. Better now. Okay, better. So the reason for it is because that's a security burden if you do not integrate an SSL certificate. And it is a protocol for the network called Secure Socket Layer, and it will allow your server or your client to communicate over HTTPS, which is encrypted. And commonly we will have a web server or web app when we are doing like Express app that will serve an HTTP, open the HTTP port and serve your web app. And I'm gonna walk you through how to get it for free. And you will have earn $6 a year. That's what will cost you for a domain provider. The only requirement to get a SSL certificate to encrypt your web app is to own a domain and set up your DNS in your domain system to point into your server. So this is a kind of a diagram. So you will have a client that will communicate to you to the domain name system that will respond the client the AP address of the server that they are requesting. So basically, it will translate, let's say www.utahjs.com. It will respond with the AP address. So the client can request the more information from the web server directly. And then the server will process that, and then will redirect or proxy to the web server or to the web server you are using. In this case, we're going to be using Nginx, which can be used as a web server, load balancer, proxy server, and so on. Domain name system will translate any name to the IP address of the web server. So this is a domain that I own, so it will translate to that IP address. And a server not using SSL certificate will send and receive communication or data in plain text, which can be read by anyone in the web. And it can lead to phishing, to fake site, untrust by the client, by the user, or leak user data, and man in the middle attacks. So basically, someone can pretend that they're the web app and steal and duplicate the user data. So we can then can prevent seeing this kind of screenshot that is in the left, where you say, "Oh, the connection is so private," because it's not private. SSL certificate works kind of like a SSH key pair, where you have a public key and a private key. So the private key will reside in the web server and will encrypt the communication, and then will transfer the data to the client, and so on. It can also communicate to another server, encrypting data. So for our to get the time effectively, I already set up a server in DigitalOcean. Have the process manager, Express app, and Node app, and the firewall open. So it's loosely open the port. It's not totally secure, but we're gonna go ahead and integrate the SSL certificate in that, and it is required to own a domain and have the domain pointing out to the server in order to have it to receive or to acquire an SSL certificate. And then we're gonna use Nginx, and I'm gonna do some tweaks and on to navigate through it. As I mentioned, Nginx can be used as a reverse proxy, web server, and proxy server. So we got to the topic that we're gonna secure our communication over HTTPS and obtain our SSL certificate. So first, we're gonna go ahead and SSH to our server. Okay. We're gonna elevate our rights to make changes to the server. And first of all, we're gonna Nginx kind of have a behavior that will set up a default behavior for the server, the configuration. So we need to remove that default configuration. So we're gonna run this command unlinked, which is a directive for Nginx, and hit it. Then we're gonna make our web app, which is served in this directory, accessible. I'm gonna change the, and then we need to create a configuration file, so we are able to reload Nginx and then serve files using the new configuration. All right, so we're using bin, then we're gonna hit insert, and then we're gonna copy this directive. So Nginx use something called directives, which is kind of like commanding what to do or how to respond, depending on what is the keyword. In this case, server is a server that we're gonna be serving. We'll listen to the port 80, and our root file will be located in our web app. And then we're gonna use a proxy, reverse proxy, that we're gonna be targeting our Node app, our Express app in this case. I'm gonna hit XQ and then W key to write down the file. And after that, we can check our configuration is right. Running Nginx flag T. It says that it's okay. And then we need to reload the Nginx. So it load the new configuration that we just write. And and then we can check if the status of the server so it is up and running. Now, for some reason, our app is not running, so we will have to go to our directory for the web app. And then we're gonna run some commands to see if that is installed. And then, yeah, git fix. Okay, and then we can have the project manager demon our app, so it doesn't stop running once we exit out running the Express app. So we're gonna run sudo npm2 start, and then we'll app. And then we can check our app, which is running in this IP address. I have it already here. So, and then we're gonna access our app, and then we're gonna have a response from our Express app. But there is an issue that we are trying to solve here, which is it says it's not secure because it's not using it and it's not responding over HTTPS. So now we need to solve that issue. And to solve that issue, we're gonna use something that the Electronic Federation Frontier have provided us. It's a certbot that will provide us a SSL certificate. The only requirement is that our domain is pointing out our server. I can walk you through a little bit about it. So I'm a cheap guy, so I don't want to pay premium for a URL or a domain. So basically, it's something similar to that. If you're using Namecheap or Name or any provider, and then you're gonna hit a bank's DNS, and over here you're gonna provide a record, which will redirect any request that is pointing your server to the server that you wanna request files from. In this case, this is our server. And then you can add another A record targeting a subdomain and pointing to another server if you want. So we're gonna run this command to install the certbot. So we're gonna run sudo apt-get flag yes install certbot Python 3 certbot nginx. The flag nginx is because we're using nginx. You can have Apache at the end instead of nginx if you're an Apache user. And then what it's gonna do is it's gonna install in our server the certbot, and then we have to run another command. So our yeah. So probably I'm giving too much flags. Let's see. Okay. So now it will provide and reconfigure our Nginx configuration file for our web server. There is two key things to notice here. So here is where it will have our private and public key. So we can use it to encrypt our web and client communication. And also we can take a look to the changes the certbot did to our file. Which is backend block config, yeah. So if you notice here in the directive that we have before, we have some more. So it says managed by certbot. And it will provide like kind of like a configuration so we can serve files over HTTPS using your using the SSL certificate. But I don't like that configuration, so I'm gonna provide mine because that configuration is not redirecting the traffic from port 80, which Nginx kind of like configure by default because I have the port 80 open already. So I'm gonna hit S key to command on bin, and then I'm gonna hit 15 DD so it can erase, or I can probably hit 50 and then DD so it can erase everything. Hit insert, then paste. And then in this new configuration, we still listen to port 80. Our server name is our domain name. And any traffic that will request 80 will be redirect to HTTPS. And I'm accessing the our host and request URL. And then it will listen to the 443 using the keyword SSL and our private key and public key, and proxy to this. And this is an error. See, 5. So I need to erase this because the basically like the local communication, I should not encrypt the local communication within the server. So I'm gonna hit column WQ, and then we're gonna test if our configuration is okay. Nginx flag T is all right. Then sudo system ctl reload Nginx. And then we can check if that is all right. System ctl status Nginx. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh. Uh-oh. Always is a typo. Yeah. Always a typo, huh? Always. And then we can notice it is on and running and have row loaded already. And then we can check our app, npm, our process manager. It is up and running. We can see if there is any. Okay, there is no issue. So now, instead of going to the IP address, we can use an actual domain and request this route post. And voila, we got a SSL in place, encrypting our communication between server and client. We have saved 6 bucks. If you are a freelancer and you have 20 clients, you are saving 120. And I don't know if there is any question. Yes. No, you can have a Chrome job done. Like, since we have Node already in the server, we can write a Node app that will have a schedule and rerun the certbot and request the SSL certificate without any touching the code again. Like, in what point? Well, when we run the command, this command, let's see if I can. Yeah, this one. So we run the command using our certbot with the flag nginx, which will like kind of provide a configuration for the server that we're using. You can flag Apache if you're using Apache, and then you can flag D, which is the domain. You need to provide the domain. So what it will do is will ping your domain, and it will verify. And then if it verify and it's an actual domain, it will provide you a certification, because then what the Electronic Frontier Federation is doing is like basically that you are actual you. So it verifies that your domain is pointing to your server. So you're actually what you are trying to pretend to be. So that's why it will respond with the certificate, and then it will provide with a location for the your SSL certification and 2-key pair key, basically. I don't know if that answers your question, Dano.
I don't know if it's an easy question exactly. So a lot of people now jobs just use like a service like this. To be honest, what do you feel like is the benefit of you? Like you went through, and I feel like the real benefit is you went to show how Nginx and all server stuff works. A lot of people don't know about. How do you feel like for you individually knowing stuff helps?
Well, I'm working right now currently as a freelancer. So if I got 20 clients, I'm saving 120 for me, and that can be to my pocket. And I'm saying that just because monetarily will benefit me, and also knowing that will help me out, because sometimes you might have a tiny project that you want to run over HTTPS, and you can do it instead of paying $6 to a provider, or you can pay it because you don't want to invest that time. But I kind of stumbled into it because I was learning Nginx and how to use it, because that's a pretty dope tool. Any other question?